Welcome to Tundra Tactical, where we're not afraid to poke fun at the largest living generation in America, the Millennials. Yep, that's right, folks. You heard it here first. Millennials have overtaken baby boomers. Puds! Excuse me. I have a cough there. They've overtaken those guys as the top dogs in America. So congratulations, Millennials. You've officially reached peak entitled. But since you're now the ones calling the shots, we thought we'd give you a little insight into what your pistol caliber says about you.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone?
And as always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like the video, because let's be real here, folks. You all love validation, and I guess unfortunately, I'm also part of that millennial crew. So sit back, grab your ethically sourced vegan avocado toast, which I hate, and prepare to have your ego shattered as we dive into our most popular video series to date, What Your Pistol Caliber Says About You, Millennial Edition. The 38 Special. Well, would you look at that? The second millennials grab the generational crown from boomers, they go and make boomer decisions. Honestly, I'm not even mad. I'm more impressed. All right, millennial, you are always making fun of boomers, but falling just short of them. Kind of like your credit score, but I digress. You probably chose the 38 Special because the 80s TV detectives like Jim Rockford, Hunter, and your personal favorites, Cagney and Lacey, all rocked the Cult Detective Special.
Yup!
You internalize this as the firearm of hard-edged cops on the streets fighting for justice as you emotionlessly latchkeyed your way through another day. But let's be real, the only justice that you're fighting for is justifying that second Chipotle run of the day to your roommates and your plumber.
Oh my sweet Jesus.
You claim the 38 caliber is a classic, just like the one Grandpa had. And Grandpa, well, he was tough as nails and can re-roof an entire house in a single day, whereas you get winded ordering more than one value meal at the Arby's drive-thru. It's okay, buddy, we know the truth. You chose it because it has the word special in the name, and you're hoping that if you say the word special enough to your mom, dad, and friends, that one day they're gonna think you're special too, and not in the short bus kind of way. Newsflash! It doesn't work that way. Remember, happiness starts on the inside, and nothing would make me happier than seeing you trade that 38 Special for something with a little bit more impact, like a student loan payment plan. You need a hug now, pal? Come on, bring it in. And remember, it's not the caliber that makes you special, it's the bad decisions you're making every day.
I've made a huge mistake.
The 10mm. Hey, Zeus on a Ritz cracker. Why can't you all just be normal? The 10mm round is the ultimate millennial round. Why settle for the standard 9mm when you can have something that's just a little bit bigger and a whole lot more difficult to handle? The 10mm peaked in 1989 when the FBI selected it for use. The feds quickly realized the 10mm, in keeping with millennial style, looked good on paper, but was too difficult for most federal agents to work with. The G-men in the Bureau quickly dropped the 10mm faster than a dress on prom night. What do you say? Not for you? Ah, man. Sorry to hear that, pal. They used a line something akin to, sorry, it's really not you, it's me. Though the federal alphabet agencies do continue to keep that 10mm deliciousness on the hook by sending it late night texts asking, hey, you up? That's only when HRT's on the prowl. Oh, 10mm, you are a dirty one, aren't you?
Wink, wink.
The 10mm round is a prime example of the millennial mindset that bigger is better, and the media has been preaching this for decades, and millennials have internalized this message. They want the biggest, most powerful gun they can get their grubby little hands on without any real appreciation of the responsibility that comes along with it. But as Uncle Ben, the one in the Spider-Man comics, not the guy on the box of rice, taught us, with great power comes great responsibility. And from what I've seen, well, most of you can't handle it.
What did you say?
Millennials chose the 10mm because it's the big boy round. You want to feel like a full adult grown-up man. Or woman, I guess. This is called a Napoleon complex, folks, but since none of you really know who Napoleon was, I'll just keep moving on. Carrying something like a 10mm with a little bit more power makes you think that you've made it. The 10mm is a round that requires skill, folks, and experience to handle properly. And no Instagram filter can substitute for the time on the range that it takes to get good with it. But hey, carrying a 1cm round makes you look better than those basic wannabes who rock a 9mm, right? What's the matter? The caliber being called 1cm doesn't sound big enough for you? Guess that's why they still refer to it in millimeters. In the end, that's all that counts. After all, 10 is more than 9 and 10 is better. This is a universal rule you apply in all aspects of your life, and why, like a boot coming home from basic, your car was bought at a 34% interest rate. Way to go.
Oops.
The 40 Smith & Wesson is fine in the sense that it's better than nothing, I guess. Sure, it's a relic from the past, best forgotten along with phrenology and feudalism, but still, it's also that exact kind of artisanal horse manure a millennial would pick up in an attempt to project a personality. The truth is, 40 Smith & Wesson is made for that one guy in the friend group who gets flop sweats and is weirdly quiet when people disagree about pizza toppings. Any disagreement, no matter how minor, gives them traumatic apocalypse-style now flashbacks to sitting in between mommy and daddy as they argued about whether to get filtered or unfiltered Marlboros from the gas station down the street. The 40 Smith & Wesson guy wonders why everyone can't just compromise as he does in every aspect of his life. He wanted to drive a Camaro, but no, he let his girlfriend talk him into a Mustang. He likes his coffee black, but gets it with sugar half and half and a little squirt of vanilla just in case the missus wants a tiny sip that ends up taking 2/3 of the coffee. But this way, she doesn't have to count him as calories.
It's delicious.
You'd think the 40 Smith & Wesson guy was pretty mild-mannered then, and you'd be right until you get them into the subreddits or a Call of Duty lobby, and things get set on fire very quickly. The 40 Smith & Wesson millennial may have days or weeks of rage percolating inside of them, and it's gotta go somewhere. The knowledge of how many foolish compromises he makes each and every single day needs an outlet, and that outlet is online.
I'm so lonely.
Suddenly, 12-year-olds are crying as our 40 Smith & Wesson camps their spawn point. The R Guns Reddit gets lit up with a defense on how good an all-arounder 40 Smith & Wesson is. Yes, the hate is flowing. Then, with all that anger burned off for the day, our 40 Smith & Wesson millennial shuts down his computer and returns to his bedroom, festooned with crate and barrel accessories, in varying colors of beige, of course, all the while putting on those yellow pajamas his girlfriend got him because he looks adorable in them. He then lays down and waits to strike again tomorrow.
Mother of God.
Before we move on, I want to tell you guys to go check out our good friends over at ar15.com. Make sure to check out the forums for a lot of good information, as well as some trolling, and their YouTube channel for up-to-date news stories that affect the gun community. A link will be in the doobly-doo. That's the comments, or the description place thing. I love you, Andrew. The 22 long rifle. Millennials love it because it's cute, it's small, and it fits perfectly into your designer handbag or man purse like a teacup pig. But let's be real here, folks. The 22 long rifle is about as reliable as a weather forecast in Florida. Sure, it's cheap to shoot, but let's be honest, you're not buying a 22 long rifle for personal defense. You're buying it to chase firearm owners' clout, and you're hoping that it's enough to keep the bad voodoo away. It's small, it's weak, and it's about as reliable as that Tinder date that you had last week, but millennials seem to love it. It's the perfect choice for your tight budget. After all, what's the point of personal defense if you have to sacrifice the venti half double decaffeinated half calf with a twist of lemon and almond foam? First try. Would life even be worth living without your morning Starbucks? You want to make a statement with your caliber of choice, but the only statement that you're making is that you're poor and that you're not willing to invest into something that'll actually protect you. The 22 long rifle is like that guy who always shows up to the party with a 6-pack of Natty Light, but spends the whole night grabbing your bottles of Miller High Life. It's the champagne of beers, you know.
Well, duh.
Now I already know what you guys are thinking about. What about 9mm or 45 ACP? Well, first of all, you're not the boss of us. And second of all, as a millennial, you're not very good at paying attention. Are you sure you didn't miss it? Maybe you should go back there and check it out. We'll wait. We didn't do them. Let us know in the comments section which calibers we should cover next time and which ones we got wrong. While you're down there, throw us a like if we made you chuckle and join us next time when we still don't know what the heck we're doing. Bye-bye!